plan on moving into a nursing home at all.
It was really a hard decision to uproot him from the friends and the family.
I'd heard some stories about people living in nursing homes and stuff, you know. And I don't want to go to a nursing home. I'm not ready for a nursing home.
I got old. This is what happened to me.
I think for all of us, it's a very personal thing, and it comes to everybody in a different way. And for me, it was really part of my mom's story. She was a healthy, elderly woman who was living alone. She had her own car. She was always very independent. She was never going to go to the nursing home. She was dealing with bladder cancer for many years and finally came to the end of that bladder cancer. The treatments weren't working anymore, and she chose not to treat it. Well, I was here, and so she agreed to come to the nursing home. But during that 6 weeks, every day I saw her fight for her life, and not for her physical life because she knew that was coming to an end, but for her emotional life. She would refuse to get up in the morning when she was supposed to get up. She'd refuse to take a shower when it was her turn on the list. And as her daughter, I knew that what her routine was better than anybody. I'd cared for her in her home. I knew what time she liked to get up. I knew what would make her happy, what would make her comfortable. But as the director of nursing here, I also knew if I asked the other staff to care for her in that way, that it would take time away from the other residents. And I couldn't do that, not even as her daughter. But when she died, I felt like I couldn't stay in long-term care anymore if we couldn't adapt to our residents' needs like that, if we truly couldn't be more flexible in caring for them in a way that they could feel comfortable.
When somebody comes into the nursing home in the traditional way, in the traditional model, they would lose their identity. And how that happened is all of a sudden we took over and said, you have to get up at a certain time, you have to eat at a certain time, and they were stripped of their identity.
This isn't the way we want people to live their last remaining years of their life. We really wanted to do something that changed the industry and got rid of that negative image of nursing homes.
What we were doing wasn't bad. We were taking very good care of our residents that lived here. We were really very proud of the facility we had. Our residents and families and staff were very satisfied with it. But when we really talked about, were we ready to come here? No, we weren't. And so then what did we need to do to make that transition?
We said the last thing we wanted to do was to build a brand new, beautiful 1970s nursing home. We would have completely failed. And so we had started a discussion about why. Why is it that even though the care is wonderful, nobody wants to live in a nursing home? And we challenged ourselves to try to design a model of care that truly people would want to live in. And what we did is we invited residents, families, staff, and community in, and we started by asking, what does home mean to you?
I think it was probably the single most important exercise we did. We spent 3 days with a group of 45 people defining what home meant to us in Perham, Minnesota. And what that allowed us to do is every step of the way we were able to say, how is that going to get us home? And I have to believe that by doing that, we've seen our residents live much longer, healthier lives. That they're involved in life and living until the day they die. They don't come here to die, they come here to live.
Well, one of the things I like best is because I can make my own decisions most of the time. Yes, I like that part very much.
In our efforts to keep people safe and to keep them secure and to keep them well cared for, in some ways we inadvertently took their life away because we did everything for them. So much of what's life for us is the ability to continue to take risks. That ability to make decisions even though it may not be the right and the best thing. You and I do it all day long. And so we had to start thinking about, if that's the way we feel, then we have to assume that our elders feel that way as well.
And I know when my mom first moved here, I have to say, and I know this might sound a little wild, but she was concerned that she couldn't have some of the things that she was used to. And in the evening, once in a while, she likes to have a nightcap. And when she moved in here, and they said, oh no, that's fine, you just ask us, and we will, you know, it is like home if that's what you're used to having. we'll be happy to do that. So I know on occasion you do that, not very often.
We call it intervening at the lowest level possible. We only add the services that they really need and want, and let them have a lot more control and a lot more doing things for themselves.
Is there anything else that you can think of that you need?
The nurses never did that before. We just went down the hall with our cart, and the whole focus was medical. Now the focus is more on their quality of life.
Thanks, Gladys.
We let them decide what they want to do. If they don't want to get up at 8, they want to get up at 10, we let them sleep until 10.
Well, it is great that they have a choice, you know. They can sleep as late as they want, you know. So it's just better than home.
I'll go ask, is there anything special you would like?
I says, oh, I love Doritos and what do you call it?
Salsa.
Salsa.
So now he gets his Doritos and sour cream and salsa and a beer in the afternoon.
I says, I like pickled herring. They hate it in there, but I got it.
We are letting them be them, but we're only assisting them in the areas that they cannot manage on their own.
We have quite a few of them that like to do their own things. It just gives them a sense of joy because they can still do it, but yet they are in a helpful setting.
The challenge for the staff then was how to work the resident schedule into the work of the day.
The key, though, was to do the universal worker.
We do laundry, we do dishes, we vacuum, we scrub bathrooms, we hang out with them and just have like one-on-one conversations with them, just kind of treat them like they're our own family.
When they need help, any of us who's walking in the door can help them. And that is that continuity of care. That's that care that doesn't have to be broken apart. We know that everybody has the core same job.
Nobody can walk by a light because we're all universal trained to answer that light.
I happen sometimes to sit on the cord that makes the light go on, and they'll be right there. What do you want, Joan? Oh, I don't know. I don't think anything right now. But it's, you know, it's that kind of thing. It's that kind of attention that they give you, and they pay attention to what you're doing.
It's a lot of teamwork. You really have to know where the other staff are so that, you know, make sure that the things are getting done. And there's a lot of communication that needs to go on during the day.
So what's our plan for the day?
Well, generally in the morning we get together and we huddle. We call it a huddle, and we kind of before the residents get up. And so we know we want to plan an activity. You know, we kind of figure out who wants to do that, who wants to do the cleaning. And if the cleaning doesn't get done, that's okay, because it'll be there tomorrow, just like at home.
I'm not saying it's easy to make the change, but it does work out in the end for them and for us.
They don't have to be living around our schedules. We can live around theirs and still accomplish what we need to in the nursing world.
They're not just here, you know, making the rounds kind of thing. They're engaged in their day-to-day living.
What we needed to do in order to make this work was to flatten that organization. It gives that accountability to the person at the bedside with the resident, so that not only are they able to make decisions day to day, minute by minute with the resident as to how they want to live and how they want to do things in their lives, but it makes them more accountable to their team.
Yvonne, if you have time, Fran would like to talk to you.
Gone are the days that the charge nurse would fix everything. The reason why is everybody has to work as a team. They have to work together, and to be in a successful team, everybody has to have decision making. Everybody has to have the leadership qualities that are in them brought out.
It allows for a great deal of flexibility in the household. It allows us to work like we do at home.
We are given so much opportunity to grow here in everything we do. It's our household. We can make decisions.
You feel a lot better about the job you're doing. You come in and you think, you know what, I'm really doing a good job today, and you're making somebody smile and making somebody happy, and you feel like you're making a good difference in somebody's life.
It was a very difficult decision to move him, to uproot him and bring him here. And when I went to leave him, I felt like I was leaving a child. And so went home that evening and had a few of my own tears and wondering if I did the right thing. About 9 o'clock, get a phone call from here. And I was it was a little bit of trepidation answering the phone thinking, oh no, what's happened? And here's Cheryl. She said, you know, I'm here with your dad, and she said, I don't think his hearing aids are working. And I can't explain the warmth that I felt towards a person that very day, taking that kind of initiative to care in those ways.
In the old model of care, you got to know the residents somewhat. You didn't get to know their everyday needs like you do now. I work with Cordis every day. You know, I know his schedule. And so you become a lot closer and you're a lot more like a family.
We're all a family. The girls are like, I feel like they're my daughters because they treat me like I'm a queen, you know?
When family members come, they feel so comfortable walking in that door. You know, they're out in the kitchen getting their coffee and in the fridge, you know, and that's how it should be because it's their parents' home.
And a lot of times I come during lunch because my mom sits at a table with some really great people that are all socializing together. My husband and I join in on their conversations, and it's a little extension sort of our friends.
And we know the other residents. We can call them by name and visit with them when we come and go. So, that really is nice.
I stay connected with my friends. It's real important to me.
Well, it's pleasant to come up here. That's why. You know, if it was a dreary hospital situation, you think, oh, but no, this is pleasant.
It's just a whole different thing. It's a whole different atmosphere, and it's wonderful.
My family tries to call me, and I'm never in my room.
We have our planned, scheduled things that we do, but we have a lot of spontaneous things too that we do.
One day was a polka party.
And Mom and Dad play in the Tone Shines.
I come over here to visit and see the ladies.
When the fair was here, I know Grandpa was at the fair twice.
Sing-along.
Sing-alongs, I always enjoy those.
I like to art.
I go to the chapel on Wednesday and on Sunday.
I like to do crosswords and Sudoku.
Every Saturday we do manicures for the residents.
And we even take you out for lunch, you know, for meals every once in a while, don't we?
Just drag us kicking and screaming into that car and away we go.
Yeah, right.
We had a huge garage sale.
Well, whenever I want to do something, they're ready to let me go.
The only thing he won't do is play bingo anymore.
I'm bored with it.
And I just can't believe that we'd be as comfortable as we are. And they spoil the stuffings out of us. Take them out.
Yes, we try.
What I have seen is a renewed love of life. I've seen residents all of a sudden embrace life once again. That is because we're not telling them what to do. We are letting them be them, but we're only assisting them in the areas that they cannot manage on their own.
Everybody's smiling and everybody's happy and they feel more comfortable with themselves and with what they're doing and more open to make decisions for themselves.
They're more active than what they used to be. They're not sitting around their rooms like they used to.
The residents are not as sick. They aren't as sick. They live longer. Isn't that something?
Just being able to wake up when you want, you know, for me, if somebody told me I had to be awake at 6 a.m. every single morning, I'd be a little grumpy. And, you know, just being able to have those small choices makes a big difference because they're in control of something.
We used to use fairly heavy drugs to be able to help people stay calm. We don't use them anymore. And we don't use them not because we've solved the behavior, but we've allowed the resident to live the life that they knew, that they're comfortable with. They set the pace for us rather than us setting the pace for them. And so it's a life that they're familiar with. And yeah, they need more care. And yes, we can provide that. But on the other hand, they have their own life. And they can choose to be involved or not be involved wherever they want to be.
The residents feel much more like individual people, and that they used to talk about their caregivers or the nurse's aide. Now they talk about Carol or Margaret, and they describe them as a friend.
The warmth that they give us is amazing. It's just, like I said, it doesn't feel like you're working because you're making such a huge difference in their lives by letting it be their home. by letting it be their home.
One day they were just visiting in a circle and they found out Mom and Dad never had a wedding. And Dad said that was one of his biggest regrets, is that Mom never had a wedding.
We had a legal marriage by a pastor and in a church, but that was all that we had.
So of course me, boom, things start going off in my head, you know, I'm like, oh, I got an idea. We gotta have a wedding.
Yes. And you know, when Carol takes a hold of a thing, if she decides you're going to do it, you'll be doing it.
I think we knocked their socks off when they came down.
We had a minister here, their minister, and there was music, including champagne. The cake was beautiful.
The most perfect, beautiful day. Everything was in bloom, and they come down in their electric wheelchairs, you know.
So Mom, did you enjoy your wedding this summer?
She was just gorgeous. She was just absolutely glowing.
Do you remember what you said when the minister said, do you take Irv to be your wedded husband?
She always says, I don't know. It's so sweet. So the girls who were working with her for the whole week, you know, you got to say, I do.
What did you say?
I do.
I do.
At the end, he says, you may now kiss the bride. And of course, she was just giddy and giggly, and he was trying to catch a kiss. I don't know if he ever got one. I don't know.
So I met the guy that cuts grass out here, maintenance man. He says to me, well, he says, Irv, wasn't it about time you got married?
It was just something that would have never happened before, because everybody chipped in. Everybody chipped in to help.
It is just amazing what difference that makes. The friendships are stronger, the relationships are stronger, and there are downsides. A death is much more affecting of everybody in that household today than it was 3-4 years ago.
Just so many tears. The connection is just so it's so deep.
One of our staff says it so well. She says that, you know, yes, we take care of the residents that live here, but they literally take care of us. They see us through our hard times. They see us through our happy times. They celebrate with us, as well as they grieve with us. We're in this together, and isn't that what a family's all about?
This is the way it should be every day. This is the way that other places should be for these people.
I think the thing that helped us the most, and I think that would help others, is just continuing to refocus on the resident. This is all about the resident, and if we really want to make it resident-centered care, we have to learn more from those residents as to what they want and what's important to them. And I think any facility can do that. If they really do define home, this is where we want to go, this is what our residents want, and then moving in that direction.
It's really essential that we pull everybody in and get their ideas, because change cannot take place if you have one person saying you have to change. We have to feel it and decide how it is that we want to change. It has to be a group effort.
Whatever we can do when we're responsible for the care of elders, to be able to continue to allow them to live that life as long as they possibly can, that's what's so important here. It doesn't matter whose idea it is, it doesn't matter how it comes about, and it's something that can happen anywhere. And I truly believe that. We're not unique. We've had some opportunities that other places haven't had. But in the end, it comes down to that willingness, that flexibility, that desire to create home and to go for it.
It's a continuous process, never ending, because there's always something better that we can do. And we can always enhance that person to make their lives the best. We just can never lose sight of that. And the other thing that we don't want to ever do is slide back. We don't want to slide back to that traditional model, and it's so easy. It's so easy to go back because that's comfort.
You can see every day the benefit of the new model. We could never go back, and quite frankly, I could never go to a different facility that didn't have this model unless they were committed and wanted to change, because I've seen the huge benefit to people's lives, whether that's residents, whether it's families who feel so comfortable now having a family member here, or staff who now really enjoy coming to work in the morning. There's no way I could go back.
I've thought about that because I was kind of stubborn. I still am about some things, but No, I'd never ever want to go back to that hall and it was more like a hospital environment, you know.
This is my family, this is my home, and this is where I'm happy, and I hope that they're happy. And to go backwards would be taking 5 steps back in time. I just don't think I could do it.
I would never go back to the way it was done before.
If you can't live at home anymore, this is the next place to be here.
And I'm delighted to be here. It's exciting. It's a beautiful place. I feel so much at home here.
I can't imagine me being anywhere more comfortable than what we are here. To me, the care they give Clarice, this is the beautiful thing, because they take such beautiful care of her, and just the little extra things that you do.
Well, I'm just really impressed with the care, and the personnel are terrific.
You don't just see the love, you feel the love.
The staff is just incredible. They do anything for these people. They will do anything.
I know it's more comfortable for my mother, and when my mom's happy, of course, I'm happy.
I don't want to go home. I like it here.
This community is so blessed to have this facility.
Quite a place. What more could we ask for? Karen, have you heard of the Ono bird?
The Ono bird?
Should I tell them about the Ono bird?
Yeah.
Well, the Ono bird is a bird with 2-inch long legs and 3-inch long testicles. 2-inch long legs, 3-inch long testicle. He comes into a landing, he goes, oh no, oh no, oh no. Shut up, Ted.